Hello, Lisa. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda's channel. Thank you for all the love and support. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload videos, you'll be the first person to be notified. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of ours. You guys are the real MVP. So lovely. I came across this video on my For You, and I thought to share why black people are spilling tea of why everybody is actually facing all of the repercussion of their actions. They stated, and I was just able to put up some stitches because these guys are really making a lot of sense. I'm just going to roll the clip as well as some of all the stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational, informative purposes. All right, lovelies, let's dive in.
America could have had nice things. Universal health care. Possible. Affordable college. Absolutely. A strong middle class. Should have been a given. But instead, this country chose racism over progress. And now everyone's paying for it. Because every time America had a chance to build something that benefited everybody, the thought of black people having access to it was apparently too much to handle. Instead of progress, we got a country that actively made life harder for itself, just to keep black people down. Universal health care. Not if black people get it too. Back in the 1940s, America had a chance to create a universal health care system. Other countries did it, but the US? Nah. Now, you may be asking yourself, why? Because universal health care meant that black people could go to the same hospitals as white people and potentially get treated like an actual human being. And they just couldn't have that. Southern politicians outright said that they wouldn't support it if it meant desegregation. Instead of universal health care, we got employer-based insurance. And that left millions of people uninsured, and we all know a hospital bill can bankrupt you. And now, even white people in states that fought so hard against universal health care, they're struggling just to afford insulin. Rural hospitals are shutting down because states are refusing federal funding. Medical debt is the #1 cause of bankruptcy. But hey, at least they didn't have to share a waiting room, right? Affordable college, though. Let's talk about that. Once upon a time, public colleges were affordable. California's public universities, they were basically free. Tuition in other states? So cheap, you could pay for it with a summer job. Can you imagine? And then the civil rights movement happened. More black students gained access to higher education. And instead of just letting people go to school, states started slashing education budgets. Public universities raised tuition. Federal aid shifted from grants to loans. And suddenly higher education became a debt trap. And now, Americans are over $1.7 trillion in student debt. An entire generation is financially crippled for simply getting an education. And even jobs that require degrees don't pay enough to cover the costs. America was so determined to keep black students out, they ended up locking everyone into lifelong debt instead. Now, home ownership. You know what builds generational wealth? Owning a home. After World War II, the government gave white families access to cheap home loans, setting them up for success. Black families locked out of those programs, thanks to redlining and racist lending processes. And when black people did buy homes, white flight drained resources from those neighborhoods. So if we fast forward to today, the housing market is a literal nightmare. Wages haven't kept up with home prices. Millennials and Gen Z can barely afford rent, let alone buy a property. America's fear of black home ownership helped create a market where now nobody can afford a house. Now let's talk about strong unions. Back in the day, unions were powerful. They fought for better wages, job security, and benefits. And black workers, they were leading some of the biggest labor movements. What did corporations and politicians do? They went to war with the unions. Reagan set the tone by firing striking air traffic controllers in 1981. Companies spent decades breaking unions, outsourcing jobs, and replacing full-time work with gig jobs. Right-to-work laws made organizing harder. And now most workers were left with stagnant wages and no protection. America didn't want to give black workers bargaining power, so they weakened unions across the board and made everyone suffer. This country could have had universal health care. It could have had free college. It could have had a strong working class and affordable housing. But every time America had the choice between progress and keeping black people out, it picked the latter. And now, instead of just screwing over black people, the entire system is broken. They deny black people health care. Now the whole country's drowning in medical debt. They lock black students out of college. Now everyone is shackled with student loans. They stopped black homeownership. Now the housing market is a disaster. They fought black-led unions. Now wages are stagnant for everyone. America wanted to keep black people down so badly, it dragged itself down with us. And the wildest part is that people are still out here pretending to be surprised.
Savannah, why do you make everything about race? Like, why are you always talking about race? Like, not everything is about race. Everything is about race! It is! Everything is! Every single part of our society traces back to racism. Everything. The damn ice cream truck song is fucking racist. The reason we have credit scores and student loans is because they did not want black people to live next to them and go to school. Everything is encapsulated in the fact that they wanted black people to fail. Our society could be so much more progressive than it is now. Spent 400 years trying to keep minorities down, that we have not progressed in technology, in society, in anything. This country has spent so much time making sure that we don't surpass white people, that it's willing to cut its leg off during the sack race over and over and over and over again. And that's why we're in the fucking predicament that we're in now. It's not about anything else but the fact that they do not want minorities to thrive. That is what it's been about since day fucking one, when they got to this fucking land. They took it away from people who were already here and didn't stop doing it. I understand that sometimes we want to ha-ha, hee-hee and live life and forget, but I'm always going to bring it up. If you don't want to hear it, don't talk to me, but I'm always going to talk about racism because it makes me fucking angry. You don't get to spend 400 plus years mistreating people based off of their skin tone alone. It caused ripples in generations. You haven't even began to try to undo it. But you want to get mad at me because every time I talk about racism, you get annoyed. Because every time I bring up something, oh, it's because this, it's because of racism, you get mad. Shut the fuck up.
Why can't the United States get rid of racism? Why do we keep getting faced with the same problems as a group of people over and over again? Why don't they end? It's because it's not an economic problem. It's a problem of the domination of white people over black people. See, you've got to understand that racism is a species or a subclass of domination. It's merely a rationalizing of the domination of one race over another. We've got to recognize that domination is a problem specifically for the people who are dominated. But the inverse is true as well. The domination by white people over black people benefits white people. And following, the dominator benefits from the problems afflicting the dominated, and so they must never, ever release us from that domination. And so as long as domination continues, the problems generated by that domination will continue as well. And even when one problem invented or created by domination appears to have been solved, what will happen? Another will arise, or the same problem will just take a different form. And a lot of well-meaning white folks will say to me, if we just remove these pillars, then racism will go away. And I understand why they might think this way, but let's analyze that for a second. Let's look at a few pillars of racism and see if the removal caused white people to stop being racist. Did the institution of chattel slavery stop white folks from being racist? Well, of course not, because they starved 25% of all the black people in North America immediately after emancipation. And then the institution of chattel slavery just got morphed into Jim Crow, the legal re-enslaving of black people in North America. When they got rid of Jim Crow, did that stop white people from being racist? No, because they just found new ways to do it legally. They write the laws. After Jim Crow, we had housing discrimination. White people legally put covenants saying that black people couldn't live here or there. So the U.S. set up the Office of Housing and Urban Development, an organization primarily run by white people. And the funds for that, the vast majority went to white people because white people were facilitating the government program. Right now, most neighborhoods that black people live in are hyper-segregated. It didn't stop anything. When we ended voting discrimination, did that stop white people from being racist? No, it didn't, because they masked the same behavior under the title or the name of gerrymandering, but the effect is the same. the dilution of the black vote for the benefit of the white suburb. When we got affirmative action and the Civil Rights Act was passed, did that stop white people from being racist? Once again, no. This was an organization primarily led by black people, but it did not primarily benefit black people. It primarily benefited white women. Affirmative action didn't uplift black people. It just made everyone that wasn't a white male a minority. Did desegregation stop white folks from being racist? So you can see that even when a pillar or institution of racism gets removed, it'll just get more. And you can see that even when measures that are supposed to promote equality, like DEI, are instituted by the government, they can just be swatted away by an incoming administration. We are never going to get rid of racism in the United States in a multicultural society because you have opposing groups of cultures, one of which, the white people, benefit from the racism, from the racist institutions that oppress everyone else. And it doesn't matter if you overthrow capitalism, because it does not change the fact that these group of people benefit from the suffering of other groups of people. And so the only way we're going to get rid of racism, and the only way we're going to have peace, is we have to remove the control, the legislative and the economic control that white people have over everyone else. We have to remove the domination, or everything will just stay the same, fundamentally the same. Now, someone might say in the comments, aren't black people free? Can't you do everything that white people can do? And that's a really interesting idea, because it shows that freedom for white people, in their mind, is different than freedom for other groups of people. If I said to an American before the Revolutionary War, can't you do everything the British can do? Aren't you free to live where you please? There are American billionaires. Doesn't that mean you're free? They would say no, because the British get to make laws over us. The British will draft our children for their wars. The British exploit our economic labor that we should use for the benefit of our people instead of the British. If that's freedom for white people, then why isn't that freedom for us? Don't white people make laws over us? Can't they draft our children in the war? Don't they lock up a significant portion of our people to use in prison slave labor? Racism is not going to end until we are free from the people who benefit from the racism.
So, on some real shit, you know what's fucked up? What's fucked up is this odd sense of relief I feel. Whew. Glad it's not me. Glad I dodged that. Is this how white people have felt for a very long time? Allies and racists alike? As a black man in America, you genuinely have no fucking idea how grateful I am to live the life I'm currently living. All things considered, my life is pretty fucking great. But to know that if the cards were different and I had been born in an earlier stage of America, my experience in this one life would have been drastically different, drastically more negative, drastically less positive. Or even in modern times, we could have been born in third world countries or war-ridden countries. But the cards I got dealt are to be a fucking 29-year-old black man living in one of the most developed countries on the planet. And I'm constantly thinking about all the bullshit that I didn't have to experience just because of when and where I was born. So with all of that said, when I walk around and I'm thinking, whew, at least it's not me, I also think that it very fucking well could be and can be again. I'm gonna get angry. I don't know how to not. This Jesse Waters guy, the same motherfucker who cheated on his wife of 5 years with some bitch he works with, fucked up that marriage, is still married to her, and then he has the audacity to get on fucking television and say what kind of husband goes grocery shopping with his wife when there was a video of Kamala Harris and her husband at the grocery store. When obviously, what kind of husband cheats on his wife? The fuck? But this same motherfucker is on TV once again, pulling up a picture of Kilmar with the Chicago Bulls hat on, genuinely saying, No, nobody in Maryland would mistakenly wear a Chicago Bulls hat. The Chicago Bulls were terrible in 2019. Why would you support them? All to say that a Chicago Bulls hat proves that he is a part of a fucking gang. So when I go see them round up these people just based off of their tattoos, or when I see Donald Trump say you can just look at an illegal immigrant and tell they're evil, and all this bullshit going on with illegal immigrants right now, or immigrants in general. What the fuck does that sound like to you? My whole life growing up, my parents hammered into me, be aware of your surroundings, you're black. And I didn't understand it then, but I'm so thankful for it now. Because I've always had to be aware of my fucking surroundings. Never been in any true danger. I've never been in racist headquarters. I've been amongst them, but never amongst the majority. You get what I'm saying? But I'm just thinking, what did they go through to where they needed to make sure that their children had this awareness about them 24/7? So I can't sit here with this, woo, thank God it's not us. I have to put myself in their shoes and think about the Latino man who's just fucking in America trying to support his goddamn family. And he got, I don't know, his wife's birthday tattooed on him or something that's special to him. And then some random motherfucker comes up, says that he's with ICE and snatches him away from his fucking family for no goddamn reason. Saying that he's in a gang with no fucking evidence. And they don't just send them to prison, they send them out of the fucking country to a maximum security prison that nobody ever fucking leaves. Don't even get me started on the deportation centers that are in this country. They are going through the same shit that I'm thankful I didn't have to readily experience. And for some reason, that pisses me off. It's so fucking logical. If they are here illegally, you look at it case by case. If it's an expired visa, I think that's a civil offense. If they have no documentation, deport them back to their home country. But this whole bullshit of in a gang is fucking crazy. Do you think I'm a diehard Wrangler brand lover? What the fuck? No, I just like the hat. I don't only wear Nike shit. I just like Nike shit. I got Adidas shit, Reebok shit. God forbid. I used to live in fucking Maryland. You think I only wore Maryland sports teams and Maryland related things? What the fuck kind of association is that? He was wearing a hoodie and a Chicago Bulls hat, so he must be in MS-13. The same way they used to look at black people with dreadlocks and be like, gang member. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that mindset? I cannot imagine the panic. I'm infuriated just as much as I am sad, because I know that there are people in this country that are just good people trying to live a good fucking life. And they are being targeted by this administration and potentially being ripped from their families for no reason at all. No due process, no evidence whatsoever. We know he's a part of MS-13 and a dangerous criminal, even though we have no real evidence other than the fact that he was wearing a fucking Chicago Bulls hat. I think what alarms me more than that is that there's a woman on this earth that looks at that Waters motherfucker and loves him. And is proud to be his fucking wife. The same motherfucker. There are people supporting and defending this shit. It should be one weird motherfucker saying some wild shit and then the entire world being like, fuck that. But it is a lot of people supporting and defending this shit. I don't like everybody. People bother me often, but I do not wish them misfortune. I do not wish them harm. I do not wish them struggle. I just wish you stay out of my lane. You live your quality life over here. I'll live my quality life over here. If we're going for the same career, may the best man win. But you all see somebody you do not like, most of the time for very superficial reasons, and you wish them an awful life. I would never just look at somebody and see a bunch of people call them a fucking violent gang member to the point where they should be sent to a maximum security prison in a different fucking country and just believe that with no evidence. That's a sickness. That's not political. That's just a sickness, and it's called racism. It's hatred. It's fucking unbelievable.
Honestly, lovelies, with everything that is happening, you know, both China, tariffs here and there is just as a result of when you forget your most priority in a nation or in a society, when you forgot the most important thing you were supposed to do in your own cabin, you are just so focused on division, on trying to treat some people right and the other person wrong. You're just all trying, you know, to break in real and cis. You're just filled with racism, forgetting that there is more important thing for you to do for each citizen or each society in order to achieve a goal. This is why all of this calamity right now is unfolding because these people decided to not like they forgot to invest more of their time, energy, resources, and thereabout in making a better stay for each citizen. But the thing is that they focus more on okay, how are we going to do these people? Oh, black people, they're not supposed to like they focus more on trying to bridge people that looks like me in a particular level. They don't want them to go up or down. And because of that, they waste all of their energy and their resources to make sure that these people never progresses or to make sure that these people's life are so miserable or to focus more on making these people not to have privilege. Forgetting that when you make, you know, your society a place that is very conducive, Ray and cis will actually be the last thing in your mind because when a society is actually, you know, on a good shape, people don't even think about being racist. People don't think about being racist or being discriminatory or trying to be better or higher than the other because the sky is actually too big for everybody to accommodate. There is this war that is, you know, going all over the social platform between African people and Black Americans. Like they are having this back and forth thing, which I personally, I do not get myself involved with anything that will bring about division within the Black people. I don't care if it's Black people in the diaspora or the Black people in wherever. Since so far you are someone that looks like me and we are being treated the same way as like the way at which I don't really care. I was so disappointed to come across that on my for you. And I was like, is this what we're supposed to be doing to each other? This is the time where black people are supposed to unite. Black people all over the world to build what they call a generational cause. And not a time to start fighting each other or try to limit ourselves. This is why or how these other people have more power to suppress people that looks like me because they see that if they're not united, this is the time for you to strike. But I try as much as I can to go through the comment sections of these people's teaching. I don't like teaching such videos on my because I am not here for trying to divide our black brothers and sisters. I am here for unity because I believe that I am learning so much of what I'm not opportune to learn. And like I have a background with all of this, thing that has to do with, slavery and all of that. And I'm so interested to know more. My grandfather used to, I don't even want to go too personal, but when I saw all of these back and front with black people, the black African and African Americans, like, I feel so disappointed. I felt like crying. I'm just saying it here because I don't just want to stitch it. Stitching it is just bridging what I intend doing on this platform. I am not here for any sort of division. I'm here to unite. I'm here to, like, it's so if you feel it to see that, oh, there is someone that looks like you out there, that have the same struggle as you. They understand you very much. So when I saw that, I was not really impressed. But I just wanted to just chip it in here a little bit while we progress with the stitch that we have for today. Like, please, if you've come across such stitches, such video about this back and forth with African Americans, please, these people are being used to divide people that looks like us. Like, they are being used. It's Easter period. So many things are going on. So people are just putting hands here and there. Please, let's digress. Let's not digress. So, what I'm saying is that instead of these people to actually focus more on try to make create a very good atmosphere for everyone, they focus more on division, and now that division is bringing is just what is bringing upon this calamity where China is they don't care about you. Oh my God, the production, manufacturing, like that energy that you were supposed to have to create all of those things. You're using it for racism. Like, anyway, lovelies, why don't you just leave your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. So, lovelies, if you've not subscribed to this channel, please do your girl a huge favor to click on the subscription button, like, and I will see you, lovelies, when I upload. Why not just leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. So if you've not subscribed to this channel, do your girl a huge favor to click on the subscription button, like, and I will see you, lovelies, when I upload the next one.